Hey everyone. For today's topic, I'd like to just have a heart-to-heart with you guys and tell you something that happened earlier today that basically was me allowing my emotions to get the best of me. I want to share this to just show you that even if you work on yourself a lot, there will still be moments where your emotions control you, where they can master you. So, well, one, it's okay for that to happen. You shouldn't beat yourself up over it. Two, definitely, of course, try to avoid this happening, but sometimes there will be things that lead to it that kind of break down your defenses in preventing this. I mean, I can tell you, my friends can tell you, everyone who knows me can tell you that I'm usually very good at controlling my emotions, meaning I just choose not to act on them. I still feel them, but I just choose to not do anything while they're clouding my judgment. But lately, I haven't been in a great place. I haven't enjoyed living in California anymore. I really want to get out, but I can't currently do that because of the circumstances in my life. My job is not going well, and I'm basically at a position where I need to start looking for something else, which is a good thing. It's kind of like the universe kicking me in the butt to make sure I create the life that I desire, because I need a remote job to be able to get out of this area. So this is kind of providing an opportunity for that, but I'll explain more of the job situation in a later video. This isn't the one for it, but basically I just haven't been in a good place mentally because I don't like where I'm at. I don't like being here anymore. I'm in that phase of being in a temporary bad situation I dislike and really wanting to get the hell out of it, but not currently being able to. So it's been wearing me down over time. It's been making it so that it's harder for me to control my emotions in general. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm always having outbursts or anything. It just means that in situations where in the past I would be unfazed, now there's a potential for them to impact me a bit more than they used to. So basically my resolve is wearing thin, and it's something I've noticed. I've been aware of it, and it sucks. I've been trying to prevent it as much as I can, but I've already made a video on how you need to get out of situations that wear you down over time, because you can't do all that much after a certain amount of time. They're going to affect you no matter what you do. So that's why it's so important to get out of those situations ASAP. And that's where I'm at. I'm trying to get out of this position, but for now I can't, and it sucks. So I've been dealing with this, and it's left me in not the best place mentally. So all that being said, that's just background for what ended up happening to me earlier today. Knowing that I'm not in the best place mentally, it'll explain my behavior that I'm about to get into. So earlier this morning, I was driving into the office, and I ended up getting into a very minor collision, but it could have been avoidable on both of our parts. Like, the guy was acting like it was all my fault, and I understand, like, there were things that I did that kind of could have been avoided to prevent it, but he also played a role in it because he was driving aggressively and sped up when I didn't realize he was doing that. And then once I realized he was speeding up, basically I was trying to merge into a single lane because construction was blocking the lane that I was in. So everyone had to zipper merge, which, sounds the way it is. It's like a zipper. You're meant to have one car merge, and then the car from the original lane goes through, and then another car merges. That's the way traffic is meant to flow. But basically, this guy was a complete jerk off, and he wouldn't let me merge. Now, there was a car next to me ahead of the a-hole, and the car next to me was actually going to let me go, but he'd already let the person in front of me go. So I was being nice, and I said, "Go, buddy. Like, why do you need to wait for two cars? You should only have to wait for one. That's the way proper zipper merging works in the flow of traffic." So I let that guy go, and then it was my turn to go. Now, when I started going, the a-hole sped up, drove aggressively, and basically made it so I couldn't merge. But I didn't realize that quick enough because I was just thinking, this guy knows traffic, right? Like, he'll let me merge because that's the way it is. But he didn't. So by the time I realized he was going to continue on his path, there was nothing I could do, and he ended up scraping like the front left of my vehicle, but he claimed that I was completely at fault here, and he was just being incredibly rude and aggressive once we were out of our vehicles and exchanging information. And I'll be honest, I did not help things stay at a normal level because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm just dealing with a lot right now and it has gotten to me. Excuse me. So I'm not in the best place mentally. So with that, my resolve was thin enough that this a-hole was able to get me to say things that I wish I hadn't said and basically act in a way that is uncharacteristic of myself. And I am mad about that. I'm mad that I allowed myself to do that, and I'm mad that I allowed him to spurn me into doing that. Basically, what ended up happening was we got out of our cars. I immediately asked him, like, why didn't you let me merge? Like, what were you doing? What was the point of that? And I guess I must have said it in a mad way. I don't think it was all that mad, but like, obviously I wasn't being super kind. Like, why didn't you let me merge? I was probably more so accusatory of him because he shouldn't have driven so aggressively. But that made it so he immediately became defensive and he started like accusing me of wanting to hit him, which I thought was the most ludicrous thing. What the hell would I gain from hitting him? Like, obviously that doesn't help me in any way, shape, or sound. I don't care about power games. Like, the way he was driving kind of conveyed that he buys into those stupid power moves of the road where you don't let anyone merge in front of you, never let people in, you always need to be first in line. He seemed like one of those idiots. So that's what I was dealing with. And basically, yeah, he was acting like I was all at fault, and he, within like the first minute of talking to him, he accused me of being entitled, and that's kind of the trigger word that ruined me and ruined my resolve, because I was like, bro, you're the entitled one. Like, you're thinking you need to be ahead of everyone and nobody can merge in front of you. You have to be at the front of the line. I was just, yeah, clearly you can tell I'm still a bit riled up over it. Now that I'm bringing it up again, should I say. But we ended up having, it wasn't really like an argument, but we were basically just yelling not so nice things at each other and accusing each other. And he kept saying again that I wanted to hit him, which is still the most ludicrous thing ever. This guy, yeah. And his wife was with him, so that didn't really help because he had her there to basically be a witness and even to like try to rile me up and whatnot. And this is what I really regret. I regret allowing my anger to control me, but what I really regret the most is I was being a bit vindictive because I just was so mad at the guy from the way he was acting. He actually, within like the first 5 minutes of us talking and exchanging information, he actually got super close to me and even put his hands on me like he was going to shove me out of the way. And that really got me mad. When he did that, I immediately said, "Get your hands off me." You know, in that moment, I thought I was going to have to start defending myself. I thought he wanted to fight me. So that didn't help because it put me immediately into that fight or flight mode, and I was choosing fight. So I was feeling a bunch of adrenaline. Like, it was just coursing through my veins at that point because I was thinking I was going to have to beat up this guy because he was that much of an a-hole, and even over a minor collision. Like, what? The damage wasn't even really damage. What ended up happening was some of the paint for my vehicle, which is black, got on the back right part of his rear fender there. That was it. Like, it's some minor scrapes. It wasn't anything huge. Nothing you'd have to go to like a mechanic to fix. And he was like really angry over that. And I was just like, dude, it's like no big deal. Like, this, if I had like hit and run, which I would never do, but let's say I had, he wouldn't have really had anything he needed to repair. But obviously I would never do that because that's a messed up thing to do. But basically my point is, he was being very emotional and it was triggering me, and I am really mad at myself for allowing it to get to me. And I just need to get out of here, all said and done. Like, I don't like how me not liking the situation I'm in is allowing things like this to happen, because if I was in a good place, this wouldn't have happened. I would have been calm and collected. I don't know if I would have been kind to the guy because he was being a bit of a dick, but I at least would have, I was, for the most part, as calm as I could be in that situation, because if I wasn't calm, we probably would have gotten into a fist fight. So I was being calm for the most part. I was trying to maintain my wits, but what I really regret, as I was about to say earlier and got sidetracked, was I said some pretty mean things to his wife, and I regret that. What I said was something along the lines of, like, some of us are better at choosing partners. I was basically insinuating that she chose a not so great man to marry. And I regret that because, oh my God, is that an a-hole thing to say? Oh man, that wasn't cool. I was just really pissed off, and oh man, I even reflected on it later at work, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Josh, you're the a-hole. You're like, oh my God, who says stuff like that? But yeah, I was pissed off. I was really mad. So I kept like questioning her judgment in choosing to marry this guy, which is really unfair, very unfair. So yeah, I regret that because like he was clearly angry. He probably wasn't acting the way he normally does. Same for me. Like they probably viewed me as some like a-hole villain themselves, and that's not how I normally am either. So both of us were out of line. Both of us weren't being our true selves, but I allowed my anger to make me an a-hole. So yeah, I've had better moments. Certainly have had better moments, but I just want to talk about this. I guess show you guys I'm human. I mean, I hope if you've been following me for long enough, you know that. Like I never want people to think I'm perfect just because I make these videos trying to help others. Like I'm not perfect. When telling my parents this, my mom even kind of said, you make videos on mindset. Like, why did this get to you? And even I was like, man, that's not good for my imposter syndrome, but I get it. Like, but I don't claim to be 100% in control of my emotions and perfect. I hope that I never convey that because it's not the case. I don't think anyone can be that way. Even like those Buddhist monks who meditate all the time and seemingly aren't affected by human emotions, I imagine they have breaking points as well where you can wear them down enough and they will show emotion and even act on emotion. I don't think anyone is free from that. We're all human beings here, and at the end of the day, we're all animals. So yeah, but that's what happened to me earlier today. So I really need to get the hell out of LA. And I need to get a new job. These things just are really affecting my mental health in a negative manner, and I need to get out of them. That's the only thing that will really help. I don't think meditating a crap ton and doing other things, I mean, that can help, but it's like putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound and thinking it'll heal it when really all you need to do is sew the wound up. And sewing the wound up in this case would mean getting out of California and getting a remote job. So that's what I need to do. But hey, if you watch this far, I don't even know what to say. Hopefully if you got something out of this. I don't know what you would get. But, here's what I want to say. It's okay and normal for things like this to happen to you, even when you're working on yourself. Like, don't hold yourself to a standard of perfection because you'll never meet it. Like, I feel imposter syndrome at times because of the fact that moments like these can happen to me. I really do, but I'm only human, right? Like, I give you guys tips and they do work, but there are times where things just get to you, and usually there are underlying conditions. Like I said here, my mental health has been dwindling over time. My resolve has been wearing thin because of these factors I already mentioned. So, excuse me, quite often that can be the catalyst for your emotions then getting the best of you. But just try to mold your life in a way where you aren't in these temporary periods of not feeling great for too long, because I've been in it for too long and it's starting to get to me. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I've talked about this plenty of times, like even probably a year ago. So I've clearly been here way too long and I need to get out. I've known this for a while and I just haven't been able to do it yet. So yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. I don't even know if there's a point here, but yeah, I'm not gonna use my normal outro. This is a different video, but thank you guys for being here. Hopefully this video doesn't make you guys think like I'm, I don't know, whatever you think of me for it, but hey, I can't control that. So yeah, I'm gonna post it anyway, but I hope you guys are having better days. I'll see you guys in the next video. Arrivederci.